It is I, Joel, when I'm in the bedroom putting on a show. Your mother and both your sisters know that Stud Muffin's gonna pick his handsome ass up and go unless we turn on Kayfabe Talk Radio.
You are listening to Kayfabe Talk Radio.
Welcome everyone. No, we're still alive. Welcome everyone to this edition of Kayfabe Talk Radio. I am Eric the Red Journal along with
Mr. Bonesaw.
That song's pretty cool, but I mean, no, the cover is like tremendous. Though it sounds like someone would use that in Ring of Honor. Like if like Vinny Marseglia from the Kingdom ever split, it sounds like he would just use this.
Probably. I thought it was appropriate considering they killed
Cancel.
off.
I'm
saying they killed off.
I didn't watch. I still didn't watch season 3 yet. I haven't had time, but it's bummer that there's no possible, fourth season on Netflix at least. Because but it sounds like they're just gonna do it on that fucking Disney thing that has been rumored forever and ever.
I'm also hearing that they might use him. There's like kind of like a split between like the TV shows and the movies, so there might be an issue. There might be a situation where they take some characters from the shows and put them in the movies, but especially it's been worked in the contract that it has stated that. Charlie Cox, the guy who plays Daredevil, he's contractually obligated to be in a movie if they're not doing the TV show anymore. So, who knows? We might have Daredevil in the next Avengers movie.
Yeah, I mean, they all miraculously come back to life.
Well, obviously, spoilers, but you'd have to be a fucking moron not to realize that they're all coming back. They're already in production for the next Spider-Man movie, and they're in production for the next Black Panther, so obviously they're coming back. Two people are not fucking coming back. The former president, the 41st president, George H.W. Bush, he's gone. He's deceased.
Real quick before you move forward, I got into a conversation with one of my coworkers from Peru, and he was saying like as blunt as possible. Yeah, it said that he died, but he said honestly, does anyone that's under 30-something years old really care? And I was like, well, even though I'm under 30, I'm gonna have to be a little more respectful. And he's like, yeah, but he did nothing for you, and he did nothing for a lot of people around that age, except for start the whole, war thing, like what his son did. To which I'm
yeah. It's look, not getting into politics. It is a human being dying. So
yeah, it's like what we, it's like, this is totally different than than the thing we talked about well over a month ago with Roman Reigns there, because that's a TV show, that's a character, but it's still a human being that got a really bad illness. Yeah, when someone passes away or gets sick, yeah, no one wants to see that happen unless it's a case like a nut job like Osama bin Laden, where he fucking was a mass murderer basically and a orchestrator of crime. Yeah, George W. Bush or H.W.H. Bush or whatever, he's still a human being. I mean, it wasn't a total scumbag. At least not on that much of a global scale to be where everyone's gonna go, yeah, fuck him. A lot of people are upset that he passed away.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not gonna say that I was like,
I'm not gonna be like, oh,
down, but
yeah, me neither.
Obviously, he has his family. He, for better or for worse, he was a sitting U.S. president. He did, contribute, some good or some bad to this country, and obviously all presidents do. And at the end of the day, nobody wants to see somebody die. Then again, I'm not too broken up. The guy was in his his 90s. He lived a full life. So again, not going to say good. Who's dead? I could care less. It's not a situation where he was an old man. He lived a long life, and I think it was his time to pass away.
Yeah,
especially after his wife had passed away a few months earlier. So
he's 94, 93?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's living a very long time. Some people don't even make it to their 70s. So
listen, I hope I'm lucky enough to make it in my 70s. Okay, there's a lot of people out there that would be very thankful to be, like fucking.
Some don't even make it out of their 20s, let alone, or into their childhood, out of their childhood. And I mean, again, he lived a long life. He was a sitting U.S. president. It's not like he had any regrets or things left undone. He lived a pretty full life. So for that matter, God bless him. Hope his family's okay.
Yeah,
and his family. Bush is his other son's a U.S. president, so I'm guessing they're doing fine. But for that matter, I'm just going to leave it out as he lived a long life, he lived a full life, and now he's getting the proper due respect that he should get as a former sitting U.S. president.
Sure.
That's it. Now, moving on. Well, I'm not gonna say I didn't expect this to happen, but I was sure fucking shocking to find out like 5 minutes ago that he passed. The legendary Dynamite Kid is no longer with us.
Well, here's gonna be very controversial in this matter. I'm gonna stand by everything I said for the past 4 years now, and people are gonna look at me and go, "Wow, what a piece of shit." No, I'm meaning everything I say. Look, it's sad that he's gone. It's sad that he's no longer with us, and condolences go out to his family. Rest in peace, Dynamite Kid. You're a tremendous worker and all that stuff. But and I'm not coming out here going, "Oh man, good riddance." No, not at all. It's sad that he's gone. But, now we're definitely going to see him in the Hall of Fame because WWE did not want to take the risk of him being a shitty person on stage. And that's the truth. People can look at that and go, "Oh my god, why are you saying that?" Look, it's the truth. Dynamite Kid had nothing good to say for the past couple of years. Not like that anyone gave him a reason. Because a lot of people in the wrestling business sure gave him a reason to be a dick. But it still goes without saying, guy became a dick, and that is what it is. He became miserable. He got fucking basically bound for a wheelchair until, now. I had no reason to be.
To be honest, if you were bound to a wheelchair, wouldn't you be a little fucking cranky?
No, I'm saying the guy had no reason to be a good person or a nice person. He could have found a way, sure, but he had every right to be miserable. Anyone who's going through like that, that kind of traumatic experience with their life, yeah, I think you're kind of entitled to be in a bad mood. I think you kind of are, but WWE did not want him on stage at all, and I guarantee you, now, don't be surprised within the next year or two, British Bulldogs announced for the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. You're gonna see, obviously, they're gonna try and play as many of his old matches as possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing more of that, regardless, without, knowing that he was eminent on his, to passing away. I was rewatching some of his stuff with, the original Tiger Mask, Saitaru Sayama, and,
Mm-hmm.
You gotta realize a lot of people are not big Dynamite Kid fans, and there's probably some people out there who listen to our show are not huge fans, don't really follow New Japan that much. But you gotta realize that his matches with Tiger Kid and Tiger Mask and sorry for the slip up there. A lot of his early matches, especially in the juniors division of New Japan, and later on in the tag matches, kind of redefined what it meant to be a guy in the mid card. He's one of those guys that was never going to be the top guy, but you were going to go to a show and go, holy shit, these guys are tearing the house down, and he, in a lot of ways, is that prototype to guys like Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Scurll, and these highly technical guys, but they're moving around in a quick and entertaining manner in the cruiserweight division. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, even as far as like guys that came after, like Benoit. You realize that the guy had such a huge impact on the wrestling business, regardless of his attitude and the situation that he had with the Hearts later on in more recent years. I'm not here to lambaste the guy, because to be honest, I know bits and pieces of the situation, and at the same time, I just don't care. I mean, the guy was a fucking phenomenal wrestler. it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I get it. You know, like he wasn't a nice person in his final years, but I still don't want to forget about like the stuff that he did beforehand, and especially his work with Davey Boy. So, you know, at the end of the day, I really do think that you know, he does deserve his spot in the Hall of Fame, but he also deserves a fucking spot if New Japan has one. He deserves a spot in there too. He deserves a spot in a lot of other fucking Hall of Fames, other than just Vince's fucking singular vision of the Wrestling Hall of Fame. So.
You know what? Thank you for mentioning New Japan when it comes in terms of the Hall of Fame, because I always wanted to start a discussion, and I guess now is a good time. But before we do that, yeah. Look, I'm going to look at the situation with Dynamite Kid like a lot of other wrestlers who either did something really pretty bad or, you know, like I like to call like the you know, obviously he's a totally different animal, but like the Benoit situation, like you mentioned Benoit earlier, where Benoit, what do you think of Benoit when you hear him now? Committed a terrible crime, but people are going to look at him for his in-ring work, and a lot of wrestling fans are going to leave it at that. Dynamite Kid, toward the end, terrible human being, but we're going to look at him as a great wrestler, and a lot of wrestling fans are going to leave it at that. They're going to look at him for his work, enjoy it for that, and that's it. Put whatever his attitude was behind, and forget it ever happened. In a way, you know, I mean, if wrestling promoters are going to do revisionist history, so can the fans.
We get like these people did, like they didn't do great. They didn't do great things as normal people, but like we can kind of make the division between you know, Dynamite Kid the wrestler and Dynamite Kid the person, and.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, it's like, okay, we understand the you know, his issues with the hearts and a lot of his more negative personality traits that came about, you know, and again, can't really blame him too much in terms of you know, being confined to a wheelchair and being kind of an invalid, but for the most part, again, we understand that what the issue was with him. It's going to be a situation of I don't think they're going to do it now. I think they're going to do it in a couple of years, and they're going to let all the fans that would kind of call them out on it, kind of gestate a little bit, and then they're going to do it and try to hide it. Because WWE never does anything risky. They try to hide things and try to, you know, blend it into other moves. So yeah. You're not seeing their true hand. So again, I'll bet within the next like 3 to 4 years you'll see him go in, but I'm not holding my breath on them throwing them in right now. I would be completely surprised if they did. I will eat my own words if they end up putting him in the Hall of Fame within the next year or two.
I'm going about 2 years. I'm going to say about within 2 years. But
I kind of don't see them moving that quickly.
Well, you know, the reason why I only say that is because they're going to look at that situation and go, well, we've been wanting to get these guys in forever, which they have. They've been wanting to. They really, because supposedly, like, Pat Patterson has been, like, clamoring to get them in, and, you know, obviously you have the obvious case of Bret Hart, because he was so close to Davey Boy, and a lot of others. But the reason why I definitely don't think, you know, it won't happen this year is probably because they're probably going to put in the Hart family, especially with Neidhart, you know, recently passing away. I feel like if they had a choice, they're going to put in Neidhart now before the Bulldogs, which, if we're going to go based off of, you know, impact in the wrestling business, to me that's a little, you know, not fair, but by WWE standards, where you were saying they like to brush things aside, yeah, they like revisionist history. Whatever makes them feel good, look good in the public eye, to the shareholders, whatever WWE feels is necessary, they're going to brush away whatever happened in the past. And then, you know, because now they have new fans and they have a new, you know, environment with the, you know, with their market and all that stuff, and who the target audience, yeah, they're trying to get away with revisionist history. So by them,
you know what the problem is with them though, and this isn't just going to be a minor comment. They keep getting caught and kind of reviled and it's hilarious because the more that they try to revise history, the more that they kind of point it out.
Yeah, but with them, they don't care. If it's a thing where it's like they highlight a certain someone, you know, and then it's like,
I mean, but that's because it's all for the shareholders. That's the main issue. It's the shareholders that hold all the cards, so they're the ones that they're trying to appease.
Which I honestly would love to know who the hell, like, what the demographic is with these shareholders that they have to placate to and hide elements of that company. Like, yeah, there's certain things you don't need to constantly address, you know, but when it comes to, like, you know, guys that busted their asses and basically paralyzed themselves like a Dynamite Kid for them, yeah, that's understanding why a lot of family and them themselves would be pissed off of WWE ignoring them until a situation like this. Like, you know, we even talked about it with Vader, where, like, when he passed this year, like, they still haven't put him in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, it's a thing now where, and I'm gonna end this with the Dynamite Kid situation, and I want to get a quick topic in. But, you know, it's a thing now where another wrestler gone, and people are going to keep harping on WWE, oh, when is this person going? When are they going in? When are they going in? And it's just, now, I hate to say it like this, but it's becoming another member of the deceased family, where you have a lot of these deceased wrestlers that are not in the Hall of Fame because WWE, oh, we're only going to put in one deceased wrestler per year because that's how they operate, because it's too sad when they can't just let the people come on stage regardless of their situation, but they're so image conscious and health conscious and all this stuff.
Again, it's the Streisand effect, where it's like, okay, we don't want to have more than one dead wrestler per year because we don't want the negative perception that you know, wrestlers die early, and they go through the stupid you know, like a showing that they, you know, of the person is oh no, he only one person. It's like we know already. If we're wrestling fans, we kind of did the research already. And nowadays, it's not like you can hide it. It's not like the 90s or the 80s where you didn't get like a instant message as soon as somebody fucking dies, or it doesn't show up on. Maybe you would see it on television once in a while, like back in the 80s and the 90s, that they'd have like come up like halfway through a show and go, This wrestler passed away today. It doesn't work like that anymore. So, I don't understand what they're trying to hide. And the fact is, when they try to hide stuff like that, even if it's, like, we understand where they're coming from, but there's a lot of other fans that want nothing more than to just lambast and destroy the company. And when you do this stupid shit where you're trying to, like, hide every little thing, people are going to be more negative towards your company because it's the same situation they do with everything. It's like every time they try to do revisionist history or change something or take something out, the fans go ballistic because they know something's going on. They're not stupid. And they keep doing this. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. And we all know it's not just because Vince is nuts. It's they have to follow a certain mandate that is handed down from the shareholders. They have to do these demographics. They have to do these, like they can't do real pure wrestling anymore in the main card because that's the thing that's watched the most, and that's what the shareholders want, to be sanitized. As soon as and that's why I'm incredibly afraid for Fox. As soon as NXT goes on Fox, you're gonna have a really bad product in NXT as well.
I'm calling it right now. If NXT goes to Fox because of these damn shareholders and because it'll be screwed up, that'll be the end of NXT as we know it. And I guarantee you, people that if they want to watch anything indie/WWE, or, when I say indie/WWE, I mean, like, because NXT is basically the indies, but with a WWE logo slapped on it. People are going to turn to 205 in NXT UK. I'd be willing to bet on that, because that's just how wrestling fans are. One thing dies down, they look for something else to be hot, and it just goes on. And it's not to make fun of wrestling fans. We do this. You and I have done the same thing. It's a way of that's how it goes. Something sucks, you get fed up with it. Hey, let's move on to something else. But
but it also doesn't make any fucking sense because it's like, okay, your exclusive NXT show that is only on, the only thing that a lot of people watch on your network, and you are putting it on Fox. What's the point of watching your network if you're putting something that was an exclusive on Fox? And then on top of that, I realized, hey, I don't even need the network anymore. Guess what? I have Hulu. I can watch it. I can watch NXT on Hulu.
Yeah.
Whose brilliant idea was that to put it on Hulu?
Probably Triple H. Or someone back there going, hey, it's a good idea. Let's put it on Hulu now, too.
No, you want traffic for your website, your streaming service.
Yeah,
why put it on another streaming service?
I know, but WWE, I did not realize the sincerity of Hulu with WWE until, like, a week ago, when, like, I found out that, like, the reason why you don't see, and it makes no sense because WWE, they own their own freaking content, but at least, like, when I, like with Raw and SmackDown, I would look back, a couple months ago and stuff like that, and for the past couple of years, and I realized that, like, Raw and SmackDowns don't get uploaded to the network for about a month. And I always wondered that, and I always wondered, like, what, they own the content, why the hell isn't it going on right away? And then I, looked even with, cable, Optimum or whatever, they can't put up the episodes until, like, a day or two later. And the reason why is because once Hulu gets it, then everyone else can. but Hulu needs that right away after it's done on USA Network, which is unbelievably baffling to me, that Hulu has to come first before everyone else, including their own product. Their network
They must have signed some kind of deal with Hulu, and now they're stuck in it for the next couple of years.
I'm going to ask people, is Hulu even that great? Like, is it like just basically Netflix 2.0 with just TV shows instead?
Kinda, yeah. But it's mind-boggling because nowadays everybody has a streaming service.
Yeah, I know.
So,
you get a streaming service, and you get a streaming service.
No, but everybody's trying to like scramble to get all their property back. Because that's again, and tying back into the Daredevil show, that's pretty much what killed the Netflix shows. That's what killed the Marvel Netflix shows. I mean, you have Disney scrambling to get its property back, so it can start up its own streaming service. So that's pretty much why they did what they did.
Yep.
Kill that show so we can get the property back. It comes back to us.
Yep.
And we can do whatever the hell we want with it.
Well, yeah, but I want to bring up something before we move on, because we were mentioning when we were talking about the WWE Hall of Fame a little bit and whatnot, and then you're talking about Japan as well. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think it's time. We need a Japan Hall of Fame. And it needs to respect, I'm visualizing in my head, like, you could obviously do what everybody else does. Who cares? Do it before, because Ring of Honor's talking about doing one also. They're talking about doing one before Final Battle. Why not do one before Wrestle Kingdom? And the way Japan is, they could make that a beautiful ceremony. And there's so many people you could put in. Obviously, Inoki would have to be first because it's Inoki's company. But, you'd have him, Chono, Ricky Dozen, Ricky Choshu, what the fuck? I'm blanking on the name. Misawa, obviously Tiger Mask, Muda.
Well, Vader.
And then the Gaijin, Stan Hansen, Vader, even though Vader was all Japan, but, and again, that's another thing too.
No, Vader was again, a lot of people don't realize Vader was an IWGP champion.
I forget it too. I do forget it too, but every time, because the thing is, the most memorable match with me, me watching Vader in Japan is the one with him and Stan Hansen, which that's the big one where Vader got his eye knocked out.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, him, Vader. I'm gonna be biased when I say this, Bruiser Brody, even though he was all Japan, but he had a lot of run-ins in New Japan as well. Stan Hansen, Dynamite Kid. There's a laundry list of people that they could put in, and they can make it a tremendous ceremony. I definitely think they could and would go all out, and it would be a really nice thing where it's not revisionist, it's for the tradition, because Japan is a very traditional product. Obviously they have their modern twist now on the product, but I'm saying, overall, very traditional, and by them doing a Hall of Fame, it would come off as that. So, I definitely think it's long overdue for them to have their own Hall of Fame.
I would also say, I would put it out there, and I would say, instead of it just being a company by company thing, it should be a countrywide.
Well, that will never happen. As long as Vince McMahon is alive in the United States, you won't have an American Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame where all of the members and stuff are
Oh no, I was talking about Japan, but
well,
like
sure,
have a Japanese pro wrestling Hall of Fame.
I mean, that would probably be more likely because I really don't think there's any true. Because WWE, they're not going to put in anyone. The reason why they have WCW and ECW guys in their Hall of Fame now is because they bought them out. But other than that, they're not going to acknowledge or give it to them.
Well, it's the same thing with the territories. It's like you have all these guys who never ever worked in WWE, but they worked the territories.
Yeah,
and that happened to be a company that Vince bought. Unicron back in the 90s, back in the late 80s or something. And it's getting worse now. And I swear this is the last thing I'll do to riff on them. But do you hear about this new global initiative that they're trying to do? That they're going to try and put an NXT in every country.
It's not going to work. It doesn't surprise me that that's what they want to do. And I guarantee you the reason why they want to have an NXT in every country, which to me that's just funny. Because it doesn't matter if the NXT UK show is good or not, which it is pretty good from the 2 or 3 episodes I've actually gotten the chance to watch. People are not going to fucking watch the rest of this shit. It's now they're getting to the point where it's not even just oversaturation. It's WWE just trying to take over the indies on not even just where it is now in the States, but the UK, which they're already doing. They're already doing a good job at cleaning them out. And then them going to Japan, and then them having one in Mexico. That's silly. That's just silly to me. An NXT Mexico and NXT Japan and NXT China. That's so ridiculous.
Well, they're just trying to pick up as much. They're just trying to monopolize. That's it. They don't care if they're good. They don't care if people watch or not, or they're losing money. It's the very fact that they can take away the talent from the indies and put them in their own shows. And they don't care. They don't care if they're good or not. It's the same situation, and this is going into the new recent news with Ring of Honor re-signing Silas Young. You have, and he made a really good point. He said you have all these guys in WWE right now that aren't doing much, and I'm going to leave the company that's consistently had my back and has allowed me to have a good living, and consistently books me well, and I'm going to leave that company to go to a company where I see guys go in the company. Maybe they'll have good booking for a couple of months, maybe when they're in NXT, and then as soon as they get to the main roster, where are they? Look at a guy like, and he made a point. He said you got a guy like Andrade Cien Almas, and he was a main guy when he was in CMLL. He was the leader of Los Inglonables in Mexico.
Because I know he wasn't the inventor. I know Roosh was the inventor of the group, but was Sombra actually the leader? If you know,
at one point he was the leader. Yeah, he was the one that initiated. Believe it or not, he was the one who initiated Naito into the group.
Yeah, no, I know he did that. Like, I know he was the reason, but I knew he wasn't the inventor or the creator.
Oh no, he was kind of like
basically what like how Finn Balor created the group in Bullet Club.
And then AJ Styles was like the next leader after that.
Yeah, AJ was the leader, and then here comes Carl Anderson. Well, not Carl Anderson, but Luke Gallows, and then here comes Kenny Omega, and then here comes the Young Bucks.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just they he was the leader, at one point, and then he was like he was a main star in Mexico. You made the guy come to the States. You make him seem like he's going to be, meant for great things, that he was going to be the next big star in the company. He comes up to the main roster, and then what do you do with him? You put him in these stupid, non-feuds with Rusev. Rusev is deader than dirt now. Yeah, you had the most, and this is the thing that gets me. You have these guys that get over naturally, that aren't geeks. They have all the talent in the world to either be a babyface or a heel, and you kill them just because they got over when you didn't want them to, and it kills me. But then again, you kind of realize why they do it, and I hate to be devil's advocate, which I'm actually not. I'm saying that I know the reason is they always just have to follow the mandates of the shareholders. If the shareholders don't like a certain person, or they don't see the necessity, and we kind of keep blaming Vince for it. But the thing is, I think he's powerless too. I think he is just going along with the flow. I don't think he even gives a shit anymore, to be honest.
You know why I don't think he does? Because the reason why I'm starting to lean a little off of him, like when I do my Vince impersonation and I do things, it's because he still has say and he still nitpicks and he still micromanages when on silly shit, but it's not, at the end of the day, it's not his pull that much like people really think it. And the reason why I don't think he gives a shit is because I watched the first episode last week of the Edge and Christian show on the network, which is still really fucking funny. They still have Vince like freezed, like, and the gimmick is that he's actually frozen in his office, and you see him standing there just frozen, and you can tell Vince like had no problem doing that. And if he really was an uptight asshole boss, he wouldn't be doing silly shit like that. But at the end of the day, he still makes ridiculous calls. He still does, things where, it's him, but it's not like 100% his fault. It is the shareholders. It's, and it's also Stephanie too. I will never rest the case on that it's also her problem as well. But, but before we make this a fucking rant about them, which it kind of is because of the whole thing with Silas Young, I'm glad that this guy, because I have him as a friend on Facebook, and he's a smart dude. He looks like a good dude too, because the real man gimmick is just a gimmick, and he's tremendous at it at that, but I'm glad that he's one of these guys that looks at it and goes, "Hey, look, we got something good going here." We don't always need to fucking go against, against the Indies and just say, "Hey, let's, go to WWE. Let's just call it a day and take the paycheck." I'm glad he looked at it and went, "No, fuck that. Let me have fun."
Yeah, especially if you know you're not gonna like the main deal is, as a professional wrestler, and we keep kind of trying to hammer this home, is if you're a professional wrestler, the main thing you want is the money. Everything else is pointless. But at the same time, how do you make that money? How do you keep, you can take the big paycheck now. And that's the thing with WWE. You can take the big paycheck now, and then you kill your career for the rest of your life. Because when you go to WWE and you don't get over, and you don't do anything, and you're just sitting there slowly, circling the drain, you're destroying your career. You're taking any ability to be a money-making draw in any other company and throwing it down the tubes. Because people will remember you.
Yeah,
look how long it took for people to go and respect and forget about the whole Stardust gimmick when it came to Cody. It took a while. It took a while for people to like open up and accept him. You know,
imagine if he never did what he did, and it was just a thing where he just fade out, did a couple indies here and there, and was just like, "Hey, I'm just the son of Dusty Rhodes. Hey, it's me, Cody. Remember the paper bag?" And then he's sitting there with 8x10s. Imagine if that's all it was with him, and he shows up to like an indie that holds no more than like 300 people. Like,
that's what happens to a lot of people.
Dude, I've you know me. I could, I'm not trying to brag to, for people out there. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen a lot of people. Look, I was a big fan, and still really like the guy of Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Anderson. And what the fuck happened to him? Nothing. He was feuding with Undertaker. He was feuding with Shawn Michaels. He's feuding with Triple H. Big name fucking guys. Doing great things, in my opinion. He could have been a huge star in WWE. I don't care what people say. Oh, he was this and such knockoff. He had a lot of talent in TNA. He could have. They had the title on him.
TNA,
but it could have been better utilized.
The drugs. He was addicted. He was kind of a junkie in TNA.
I mean that's the case too. But also,
early on in WWE, he had a lot of potential, and I think he was going to be. Originally he was supposed to be the son, like he was supposed to be the son of Vince McMahon. The fact that they were going to give him the ball and let him run with it before they ended up releasing him because of the issues he had with Randy Orton.
Yeah, you fucking yeah. I don't like this guy. Yeah. Randy Orton. Randy Orton is the official future endeavor. Because and any time, I don't like this guy. Get rid of him. He's gotten so many motherfuckers, and that's another reason why I grew to get annoyed with Randy Orton, just because I heard too many stories where people are like, me and Randy Orton had a little problem, and then all of a sudden I'm out of the job because Randy Orton got annoyed with me.
Well, I mean, even people that just never, like were supposed to be main eventers, and they just, fell off the end of the mid card, and you barely ever see them other than when they cart them out the job to like 10 different people.
Like Carlito is another one I really enjoyed that kind of fell to the wayside. MVP is another good one. One of my old-time favorites, Rob Van Dam. Where the fuck is he now? Granted, he's still a big star to people and people's minds, but he's still one of those guys now where it's like, what is he doing? What are these guys doing? They're doing small indies. That's what they're doing. They're not.
It's sad though. It's like anymore. You can go to bigger indies and make a name for yourself. You don't need to directly go. Look at Jay Lethal. He should be a fucking symbol for all people that you can do. Him, the Briscoes, like you can look at other people, like people that made their bones just working the indies, and the fact that they're that popular, that famous, that you can still who they are. I mean, you're especially if you're watching All In, you're going, oh shit, Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, you got Brian Cage, and you have all these different guys that are out in the indies that are well known, and as soon as they go into a bigger bigger company, it can become a situation where if you're not booked well, they can kill their careers.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. For unless you're gonna take that big lump sum of money, which to be honest, when you go into WWE, you get a contract of maybe initial contract is maybe like maybe 50 to 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're, like a really big name guy, so you maybe you'll get a contract around, 200,000. Now, let's say you go into that company and you think you're going to be a big star. They destroy your character. They destroy your any ability for people to take you seriously. Like, what do you think? What do you think happened to freaking what's his face? I know he was a terrible wrestler, but look at Big Cass.
Oh yeah. And then also too, we forgot good old real one there, Mr. Rapper himself, Enzo.
Oh, getting thrown out of the Survivor Series.
Getting thrown out of a plane, getting thrown out of Survivor Series, all an attempt because he has to sell an album, all an attempt to get his album recognized.
I mean, what the fuck was he thinking?
Publicity.
Yeah, but that's not good publicity. It's
he
bad
doesn't
publicity.
care. Yeah, but he doesn't care. That's the problem with a guy like him. He doesn't care. If people are talking about him within the next couple of minutes, he did his job. If you're talking about him, he did his job. That's all. He doesn't care if people think he's good or bad. He just wants people to talk. Because you gotta remember, that's how people like him think. They think, any publicity is good publicity. They're talking about me, right? Don't matter if they're haters. They're talking about me.
Oh my god, he got manhandled out by this little tiny security guard.
Oh, that was great.
Oh man,
that was great, and it was during the AOP match too.
Which is that's another showing of look at your career go down the drain.
Yeah, but anyway, we gotta move on because we got a decent amount of shit to cover.
Yeah.
So yeah, but when it comes to Ring of Honor, it looks like they're signing two guys, which I'm a little upset that they're leaving MLW because I'm gonna be blunt with everybody. I'm more of a fan of MLW these days than Ring of Honor. But it is what it is, and I'm all for freshening up the environment, I guess you could say. Brody King, as well as PCO, looks like they're signing over to Ring of Honor. Brody King, good, still, in his prime. I'm glad to see it. PCO surprises me a little bit because to me, it just doesn't seem like something that I would have seen him more in Impact, especially with Impact when they did the whole Broken Matt Hardy thing. Not to say that Ring of Honor had them as well, but Impact did more with it. PCO.
To be honest, PCO I would have seen more go towards
Lucha Underground.
Maybe no, not Lucha Underground. I mean, yeah, maybe Lucha Underground, maybe Impact. The promotion I would see him most with would be CZW.
Sure, but also too, it's who would really talk about that? Who would even really? Because no one's really following CZW that much anymore. The big thing now with even just anything ultra violent is that company Game Changer Wrestling, where David Arquette wrestled Nick Gage.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard.
I want to.
Believe it or not, I heard that Arquette got really mad at Jim Cornette because Jim Cornette was bad mouthing the match.
Well, you know what? Of course, Jim Cornette was watching bad mouthing the match. I didn't listen to Jim Cornette, but I was listening to Dana White and Jake talking about it, and Jake was like, "Yeah, you could tell David Arquette it didn't go the way he wanted it to." Because they even showed the clip, like, he just got right out of the ring. He no-sold everything, and this motherfucker got hit with light tubes and everything, but, but like, with PCO, it's like, yeah, he does that shit from time to time, but, with him with this whole Frankenstein gimmick, Impact with Lucha Underground, I thought that made more sense than him going to Ring of Honor doing the whole "It's alive, it's alive." Because I love the PCO thing, but to me, just him Ring of Honor doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I'm all for him having good matches down there, because they're gonna have kick-ass matches, and and it's also shocking too that that's gonna be the oldest guy on the roster for Ring of Honor for the first time, I think, ever. At like 50 years old, to me, I think that's the oldest guy they've ever had. Yeah, they have Christopher Daniels now, who's like 48, but still, it's like PCO, people knew who he is from WWF and whatnot, and now with his resurgence with this new gimmick.
To be honest, it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's not like they're putting him like I could see like if they sign like some old superstar legend, it's not like they're gonna immediately push him into like the main events. Like I only kind of roll my eyes when you see somebody who's completely out of shape in comparison to what they looked like in like 20 years ago, and then suddenly they're the champion. Brock. It's like I have no problem with them signing somebody who's a little bit older, as long as that they're mad. Like it's like the Minoru Suzuki situation. If a guy can beat somebody's ass and look great doing it, I don't care how old he is.
If Undertaker won a belt tomorrow, I would be very pissed off. And I love Undertaker. Undertaker is, honestly, I've said it many times, he is one of my favorites of all time, but I would be very pissed off. If Austin came back and won a title, even then, I'm going to say it, I would be pissed off. Because, for a fact, these guys, they're not in the ring every fucking day. They're taking away paychecks from other guys that are. And also, if they're out of shape, they don't look like they're going to kick ass. They look like they're going to fucking, keel over.
Someone's been sitting on the couch for too long. That's the main thing.
They look like they're going to keel over because they've been sitting around for fucking too fucking long. And,
it's an issue. It's an issue because you're taking away a paycheck. You're taking away the potential for a new guy, and that's the problem that WWE fails to recognize, because they're eventually just going to run out of guys. They're running out of guys. They have no big. Who's the big star? Who's the big star in the company?
This is why they need to just buck up, shut the fuck up already, buck up, and just start making stars. You invested how much fucking money in the Performance Center down there? Whatever million? You're bringing up Lars Sullivan. They're doing the whole angle now that, from what I'm reading, that they're doing a thing with him where it's like, oh, he's a free agent and he's choosing where he wants to go. At the rate that WWE is, that means nothing, because what is he going to do in 2 months? I guarantee you, dick. I guarantee you he's going to do dick. People are going to get roll-up victories on him, and it's going to be the big whole, oh man, could you believe that they beat Lars Sullivan? And then the Mystique's gone, and then that's it. And it's going to be like he's going to come in when they need him as a good hand to look intimidating for X amount of feuds, and yeah. He's going to look like a fucking joke. And I hate to say it because I love Lars. We both love Lars, but that's the case because that's how they are. But they need to start fucking really getting solid with making stars because, like you said, who the hell's there? Who is left for them to bring in that's around that time that's in their 40s or in their 50s, that they can rely on and go, oh, okay, yeah, we could get good programs out of him. We could get good matches out of him. There's nobody. There's no way because they're not making stars. And, they have too many fucking guys under contract as is. And and they're not realizing, hey, time is going bye-bye. And then you can't cater to these fucking Saudi Arabian malakas for so long. But, again, to get back on track here, it's just, for him to come in and, to be in Ring of Honor, like I said, great matches. It's just, to me, the gimmick doesn't make sense there. But that's fine. I'm sure they'll.
But they can always give him a new gimmick. It's not at the end of the world that they don't give him the
if it's not broke, don't fix. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I loved his gimmick. I loved the whole him coming in, just totally, like zombified and everything, like, doing the because I've seen the spot. I don't know if you've seen it, where a guy will wrap themselves around him. Like they're ready to take the tombstone pile driver, and while he does that tombstone, he's chokeslamming two other guys along with it. So he's doing like a double choke slam along with a tombstone pile driver.
Oh shit!
So he's like the Indies and all different companies in MLW are doing like really like bizarre things with him, and it's like that's like the new. Like broken universe type of deal. It's not to that degree. Like it's not that popular to that degree yet. But with a platform like ROH, it could be. Could very well be.
I would laugh if they took the gimmick and they made it realistic. So hear me out on this. If they took PCO and they do the whole he thinks he's the Frankenstein monster thing. But then they explain he's actually just fucking crazy. He isn't the Frankenstein monster. He thinks he is. He's like a fucking like mental case that got out of a mental institution. So he's going around and acting like a fucking monster, but he's actually just some fucking crazy dude.
So wait, who's this guy, PCO? Oh, he wrestled 20 years ago in WWF, and he got so many concussions that he was doing like really crazy shoot interviews, and then they had to put him in the mental institution, and he got loose, and now he thinks he's Frankenstein. Oh, okay, perfect. We have a lot of those guys nowadays. That's.
Oh god, that would be great if they ended up doing that.
You know what? Now, yeah, all right, you sold me. If they go that route, I'm gonna be. I legit owe you. I legit owe you like a pat on the back and then some, because that's tremendous. That would be absolutely tremendous. But and then again, I don't want to, and also too, anyone listening, don't sleep on Brody King either. Guy's awesome. A lot of people make fun of him online. They're like, oh, he's just a more like less defined Aleister Black. Sure, a lot of guys look like that nowadays. It is what it is. I'll give you that. But guy's fucking agile as fuck. The guy could walk the top rope. You ever see the thing? I'm asking you. You ever see the thing that Phoenix does when he has a guy's hand and like he'll like walk the top rope and then he'll
kind of down. Does old school.
He does an old school, but like he'll like bounce onto the second rope and then he'll bounce back up on the top and then do like a Hurricanrana.
Yeah, he did that. He did that spot in the in All In.
Yeah, Brody King is like 6'5" and about 300 pounds and does the same exact thing. Where he'll walk the top rope, bounce onto the second, and then do like a flip and into like either like a Huracanrana or an arm drag.
I'm gonna have to watch Ring of Honor some more lately.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I'm all excited for the new blood. I'm disappointed because, like I said, MLW. I'm being a little biased when I say that because I've been watching them. That's basically, if I don't watch any wrestling for the week, that's the main thing I watch now is MLW. That's the level I've become, and they're supposed to get more talent. And Brody King and PCO have been big deals with them, but if they get more talent to fill that void, by all means. But I'm also all for Ring of Honor because, like, Ring of Honor, I don't follow the TV show weekly anymore, and that's a shame because when I watch it, it's guys like Cheeseburger that, in my opinion, don't belong. It's guys like Brian Malonis that don't belong. And the reason why I say this is because Ring of Honor, when I grew up watching it, it was the premier indie. It was... Here's the guys you see in this state, you see in that state, you see in this state. They're all coming together to create a super card. Every night from the Ring of Honor is supposed to be a super card of indie guys. Now it's just, here's a guy like Brian Malonis that comes in and he looks like he is comfortable with just working no more than 50 people in a crowd. Like, he looks like he doesn't fucking belong. There's plenty of these guys that don't look like they fucking belong. And they need more premier indie talent, in my opinion. So I'm all for them shaking up. And these guys, and I'm not saying, hey, get them out of the business, whatever. No. Go to other territories and get better. That's what I'm trying to say. So, with Ring of Honor, they're supposed to be this big drawer. They're along with New Japan. Yeah, then act like you are. Have premier talent. Sign more premier talent. Get more guys. Bring guys back. You know, like... Fuck, who cares if Aries is a dick? Why not bring back Aries? Yeah, he's a dick, but he's a premier talent. Treat your company like you hold premier talent, especially if you're selling out the fucking Garden. That's been a problem of mine with Ring of Honor for about a year or so, by the way. Where it's like, you know, I'm always going to be a fan, but it's the thing where it's like, come on, guys, don't look Butch League.
Yeah, they need to release some of these guys.
Some guys got like 2019 should be a recycle. It should be like, you know, like at WWE, they shake it up. They do the Raw and SmackDown fucking gimmick every year. That needs to happen for real, in all wrestling companies in 2019. If we're gonna be at this rate. People need to change.
To be honest, I could say the same thing for New Japan.
Oh,
there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that need to like be able to go other places,
dude.
Like or
change
up the very. Huh?
Yeah, change it up a little bit because it's kind of getting the same old. I'm talking, and that's the problem. That's the problem for me where it's like, am I really gonna like? With all due respect to Japan. How many times am I really gonna wanna watch fucking Ishii fucking headbutt Makabe? You know what I mean? Like Ishii, like Makabe, he's not a traveling guy. He could stay, but Ishii looks like the type of guy, and he has where he's done some traveling. These companies should book some of these guys. Book them for like a month of TV tapings or whatever. Do some angles with some of these guys.
I mean, at least the one thing. I'm not even saying release a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys.
I'm not saying release. I'm saying trade. I'm saying trade. I'm saying leave one company, go to another. Shake it up. Legitimately shake it up because it's the same old.
You know who I would love for them to trade. To come to Ring of Honor, I would say, it's somebody like, I could actually see this work. If you could trade, Taichi for Dalton Castle.
That would be cool. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Could you imagine that? Like they trade him over, and then Dalton Castle has to like be drafted into Suzuki-gun. And he's just, like, reacting to Minoru Suzuki. And he's just annoyed. And he's wearing, like, he's the only one that's, like, he's forced to wear the Suzuki-gun shirt. And he cuts it, like, into, like, a midriff.
Oh, that's a great... Right on. Right on, Pat. That's actually a good angle. I'm all for that. But yeah, no, I would put him in there. You know, and then, you know, obviously with Impact, I mean, you still have the talks of Jericho coming in there in Impact, which that's been going on since the summer. I think a guy like him would really benefit. You know, I still want to see that feud with Sami Callihan, of course, but I definitely think a guy would benefit with, you know, someone like Brian Cage. I know people look at that and go, Brian Cage, Jericho. Hear me out on this. Brian Cage, fucking agile, just a beast of a fucking individual. And then Jericho, who just reinvented himself. He's in his later years. They could have killer matches, and then, you know, obviously with a talent exchange, I would like to see, you know, a Jericho in there in Impact with, if they ever brought in to Impact, fucking I'm blanking on him, UK guy, Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I could see that too. I just want to see more guys. Like, you can even get guys from, like, CMLL. I like a lot of those guys.
Like Dragon Lee, I would like to see go to Impact. You know, like, you're doing and another thing with Impact, you're doing the Ultimate X. Fucking bring a guy like him in there. Like to me, like, you know, I don't understand too. Where like okay, they're like, you got the Ultimate X, and I'm stoked for that because it felt like it's been years since we've seen one. But you have a junior division in Japan. You have an X division in Impact, and it feels like it's the same fucking crop of people. Change it the fuck up, or hire people. Because it just seems like it's the same shit. Like in Japan with the Super Juniors, it's Kushida, Ospreay,
Takahashi,
Marty, and that's it. A lot of times that's it. And if they need tournaments, showing here you go, guys. But we're a tag team. Yeah, but we need you because we don't have enough guys. We only have like 5 guys. Like Impact too. It's like Brian Cage. He just dropped the Impact X Division belt, and obviously he's not like, you know, he's not a smaller guy by any fucking means. So, you know, him holding the X Division title is insane, but it is what it is. Because they have no limits. But like that X Division, there's like nobody there. There's like literally there's like fucking a handful of guys, and that's it. And they're not highlighted. So it's like, that's why you need a talent exchange through all companies. Everything needs to fucking shake up. Just freshen up the fucking wrestling scene, because, you know, doing so many matches of the same crop of talent over and over and over again, it's fun, but it does get like, okay, we've seen this already. Like, after this whole thing with SCU and the Bucks and the Briscoes, it's like, how many more times are we gonna do this, you know?
Yeah, like, can we see, like
if SCU...
I would love to see, okay, this is another thing I would love to see. This would be a fantastic talent exchange. Have Roppongi 3K go to Ring of Honor and let the Briscoes be in Japan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and we're not talking for a long time. We're talking like a year.
No, so like a couple months or a year.
Yeah.
Like, just think about if you have this like fast, flashy tag team that's going up against, either in the Young Bucks, which that was a good match, and you also have. I mean, even then, you could have the Young Bucks go to Impact. I kind of do want to see new stuff, like new matches that's not the same, because the past couple of years we've been seeing, like, it's been good match qualities, but it's just been, maybe I do want to see, like, the rest of, them interact with the rest of the indies, which was, in a way, we kind of knew this, and I think we were talking about this when All In came out, because we were like, this is the kind of evolution of that idea, where you have different guys from every company wrestling, and you're having a match like Pentagon versus Kenny Omega, which never happens, and now you're finally having it happen there.
It's like Marvel versus DC, but with the indies.
Yeah. It's something where you're not gonna see that on a normal basis. It doesn't have to be. Like, you don't need to send your main stars. So you can still have that type of matchup at next year's All In, where you have, like, a top guy come in from, like...
Oh, I'm not saying Kenny Omega go to Japan, or... not Japan. I'm not saying Kenny Omega go to Impact or Ring of Honor. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about...
No. I'm saying, like, some mid-tier guys that are not really being... hyper-utilized, you trade them over and you see what you can get. And also, it helps for matches.
Like, if SCU actually leaves, I got a great idea. Actually. So, say they win the belts at Final Battle, right?
Yeah.
Hear me on this. So say they win the tag titles at Final Battle, and people go, well, wait, I thought SCU was done. They go, we are done. And then Koff goes, well, okay. Thank you guys. Now hand me the belts. Whoa, we're not handing over the belts. See you guys on Impact. And then they go to Impact with the ROH tag titles. And then you do an angle where Ring of Honor talent are constantly invading an Impact, trying to get the belts back from them.
See, that would work, because it would utilize, like, Ring of Honor guys that you can only see on Ring of Honor if you like Ring of Honor. And at the same time, it's also boosting ratings for Impact. I don't get why they don't do the invasion angle more.
And another thing too, if they go to if they were to go to Impact, that would open the door for them to, because Lucha and Impact still pretty much have a deal. That would open up the door for SCU to go to Lucha Underground, which is filmed in California. They would come in like a fucking hero's welcome, get the trios belts, and another thing just that would freshen it up.
Oh my god! I just had a great idea. They do like they start getting cocky. They still think about how cool this would be if this was a storyline. So you have a tag team. You have different tag teams from Ring of Honor forming and going over into Impact to try to get the tag belts back, and they go over there, and then SCU ends up winning the trio belt, and you have a situation where they, like a group of tag team, they're trying to challenge them for the Ring of Honor belts, but accidentally win Lucha Underground's belts.
Ooh.
So they come back and they're the Lucha Underground tag, like the trio belt, champs, and they fuck up and they didn't realize that they weren't challenging for the They thought that they were challenging for the, to try to get the Ring of Honor belts back, but they end up not getting them, and they end up getting completely different promotions belts.
But see, it would look like a clusterfuck, and that's good. That's good, because then it looks like, oh, okay, you're coming back to the Ring of Honor, and then Chokoff is pissed because it's like, those are the wrong belts. Yeah, but we got these, and these are pretty cool too.
And then you start doing then Joe Koff is like pissed because he's like, okay, we already had a 3-man tag belts. Why do you have another set of them? But they look cool.
Yeah, yeah. But to include the whole topic with freshening shit up, so hopefully this happens, sooner rather than later. Not just the match, but just because for their sake, the Revival, because they're not really doing fucking much of fucking fuck all in WWE. But there was a lot of teasing going on between the Young Bucks and Revival on Twitter that saying that for everyone to remember the tweet that one day Young Bucks will wrestle the Revival. And we're all hoping Ring of Honor. We're all hoping anywhere outside of WWE. Because imagine the Revival acting as actual heels and actually cutting off the ring in a non-WWE ring. And I got a good 6-man for you. I got a tremendous 6-man for you. The Revival and Silas Young.
Yo.
Just 3 dudes who just come off with like, yeah, we're miserable. We're fucking basically 40. We're fucking sick of the fucking millennials. Fuck all of you fucking skinny jean looking assholes. We're real men. We have mustaches. We fucking drink Rolling Rocks at fucking 2 a.m. Fuck all you pussies. That would be tremendous. Have them win the fucking ROH. No, the Lucha Underground Trios titles.
Oh, this part is they go to Lucha Underground and they wear like half-assed like lucha costumes to hide their identities. You don't know who the fuck it is, but you see the mustaches poking through like the lucha mask.
And Joe Koff's looking at them. What? We have a 6-man tag titles. Why do you have those? Scott Dawson with his southern accent. Yeah, but there's not a nice lucha libre mask on it. This is pretty cool. And they got red straps. This is like the strap that Jumbo Brock Lesnar had in that other company. But it got a lucha mask on it. It's kind of cooler.
Oh god! If that was a running thing that they keep going to Joe Koff's office and going, they keep winning other companies' tag belts, trying to get the Ring of Honor belts back, and then he keeps telling them to vacate the belt.
Oh shit!
He was like, no, that's the wrong belt! Oh. Yeah, I was wondering why it said Defiant.
No, you're supposed to get the Ring of Honor tag titles. Oh, this says Rev Pro. Oh, I didn't know that this said Impact.
Oh god. It's like he comes back the one time and it's like, you said ROH. That's
Ring of Glory.
Dawson,
same thing, right?
He's like he gets Dawson by the head and he's like, Dawson, do you know how to read? He's like, no, I don't. Stro told me I didn't need to.
I love how we're taking a great worker and just making it seem like he's a fucking illiterate fuck.
Yeah, but it's a character. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but so was stuttering Matt Morgan. That atrocity.
Yeah, but if it's funny and it gets the worker over, who gives a shit?
Oh man, I got a new T-shirt design for. This got to be the thumbnail now. I got a new T-shirt design for the revival. No books, just fists. No books, just hooks. There you go.
Oh man.
It's just an uppercut, and it just says no books, just hooks.
Oh my god.
Fuck, that's funny. Oh man, but HBO is supposed to make, rumored to make a Kenny Omega documentary, huh?
I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird that they're going to make a document. Like,
it's random.
It's weird, especially considering he's not he's a huge star in the business, but I mean, like, his career's not over. Usually, when they make a documentary, I mean, unless they're going to do it like kind of like Hard Knocks. Like, you ever watch like NFL Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
And I can see them doing that, like doing like a just like a basic story about his early childhood, and then they go into like a year in the life of Kenny Omega. I wonder who would produce this. Like, do you think this is going to be a production by New Japan, or like the producers from New Japan, or do you think they're gonna? Do you think? I mean, and I know you're probably gonna go like, no. Do you think WWE's trying to do this to try and sweeten the pot so he can come over to?
Oh, absolutely. Because how good does it look for them? Hey, we're really trying to get, because dude, they're making it obvious. They want him in the Bucks bad. They want Cody back bad. Like, and it's just funny. Like, even Hangman's just like, yeah, no thanks. Like, they want they want them so fucking bad, and everyone keeps saying, oh, you know. Honestly, it's actually getting to the point now where as time goes on, the more casual people that like kind of know who these guys are watch them. They go, don't go to WWE. They're actually doing the right thing. They're not going there.
Well, it doesn't make any sense for them right now.
No, it doesn't. No, it absolutely doesn't. And the thing too is, when you said that, that he's not fucking, his career's not over. It's not over, but there was never a law either of, if you're doing a documentary on somebody, their career has to be necessarily done. It's more so the case because it's more of reliving that person's life, reliving that character's career, but at the same token, Kenny Omega still got a lot of time. He didn't, like, it's not a thing where it's like if they made one about Punk back in that time, Punk's career is,
So it's over, and
it's over
there's
now.
like
if they make one now, it'd be like, okay, cool, like that's actually good. But the thing is, there's a lot more memories to be had with Kenny Omega. It's like it's just a weird point. It's not a thing where he has to be retired. It's just more of like, there's not a lot of memories. Like, I would mark out seeing old footage of him from when I remember seeing him at like the old fucking, schools and gyms and shit in Jersey City and Broadway. But It's
if they end up
everyone
doing
else
something
is not
like
gonna
behind
care.
the mat, where they go into his like his early life, and then they just show him going from show to show, and then like the interaction he has with
Here's
different
the thing.
people.
What I would do, I wouldn't make it just him. Get all the Elite involved. Make it a thing about the Elite, because, don't make it just a Kenny Omega documentary. You want to beef that shit up for a fucking an hour and a half, 2 hour special? Don't put in Cody. Don't put in Cody, because if you put in Cody, there's a lot you could say. There is a lot that could be said about Cody.
Cody on his own
could
probably have his own.
You could make your own about Kenny. I would do one, and I would not put in Hangman. I would not put in Marty. I would make it just Kenny and the Bucks, because you can make a nice. You collectively, each guy can get. Well, the Bucks, they would probably get about 35, 40 minutes of their time, and people talking about them, and then the same could go with Kenny Omega. You could put it in one thing where it's Kenny and the Bucks, the Elite documentary. Because there's plenty of shit. Because Kenny Omega by himself, to me, it's just, like I could sum it up really easily. Guy was in Winnipeg, had an uncle that Don Callis knew in the business, that groomed Don Callis. Wrestled a lot in the Canadian territories, in the Indies, I should say. Came to the Northeast, did a lot of Indies here. Did shows in Ring of Honor. Went to DDT, did a thing with Kota Ibushi for so long. In and out of New Japan. Came back, did Indies here. PWG, all that stuff. And then goes over to Japan and Bullet Club, and rest is history from there. Everyone else knows the rest. To me, that's just not a lot. It's not a lot to cover an hour and a half documentary. If you include the Young Bucks, that beefs it up a little bit more by a half an hour or so. And you don't want to drag it out either. You don't want to drag it out, unless they make it shorter, but you don't want to fucking drag it out. Because then it just looks like a sloppy documentary. Yeah,
you're right. I mean, they're probably also going to go into his
personal life and
personal life, and then also on top.
You gotta do that.
And they're probably also going to bring in the fact that he likes video games. They might take some footage from him in, Evo.
Yeah.
And, the main thing I'm thinking of, which if it is WWE produced, they're going to have to gloss over the whole Bill DeMott thing.
Oh, dude, if WWE doesn't give a shit about Bill DeMott, they'll fucking easily talk about it. They would easily talk about it.
Is he not in good standing with the company right now, or?
I honestly don't even know. I mean, and I haven't heard anything about Bill DeMott since he was let go for when he had that shitty interaction with Luchasaurus.
Oh.
From what I understand, that's what it was. He fucking drove Luchasaurus out of the Performance Center.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Luchasaurus.
What the fuck did he do? What did he do? Especially as a guy that size. What the fuck?
Oh man, I totally forgot he's in Ring of Honor now, by the way. I can't wait for him and Brody King. I had to get that out of the way. I just realized that. Oh, this would be an awesome fucking hardcore match. Anyway, I don't really remember, but I just remember he was just fucking bullying. He was just bullying fucking people. Bill DeMott, that is.
I've always heard the stories behind that, and it's just like I hate when you hear about these like former wrestlers and they just like bully the shit out of like these like young guys. It's like, did you really need to do that? Like, we get it. You were a wrestler beforehand. it's one thing to stretch a guy and and go, look, you got to be physically and mentally tough to do this. And if I'm breaking balls, it's for your the benefit of you. But when you're outright just abusing the guy, like when you get to that point where you're like a hardcore Holly, and you're just trying to hurt somebody for the fucking sake of it because your career sucked, or you're mentally abusing somebody like you're like a what's his face oh god I can't JBL. If you're like a JBL or you're like a hardcore Holly, I can't have any fucking respect for you. Like you're just an asshole. You're just doing it because it's fun to you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've seen a lot of people like online talk shit about Bill DeMott. I mean, of course, there's those people that know him that are gonna fucking back him up, but I heard the only
reason he got the job was because he was friends with Michael Hayes.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that doesn't fucking surprise me. Last thing we gotta talk about before we get out of here. Neville, aka Pac, Pac, formerly known as Neville, won the Dragon Gates Championship, the Open the Dream Gate belt. He beat Masato Yoshino last night, or well, I should say earlier today, at the Fantastic Gate 2018 inside Corrigan Hall. Match ran a little over 20 minutes long, and it's his first belt since being in WWE. Or since leaving WWE, I should say.
Well, I mean, congratulations to a guy who's a fucking, he's a cool dude, and he's also probably one of the best high flyers in the world. That isn't Ricochet and Will Ospreay. And I've actually, I know you're probably gonna react, in an insane way, but I've actually been hearing rumors of them doing New Japan and Dragon's Gate actually doing a joint promotion thing, and I've heard that the main thing that they would be doing is a match between Will fucking Ospreay and Pac.
Yes, all 100, yes, 100 times yes, a million times yes. Oh, fuck every old guy and this shit. I'll take my gymnastics wrestling for that day. Fuck everybody and their old shit. I will gladly say I don't give a fuck. I want to see these motherfuckers counter reverse Frankensteiners. I don't give a shit. I gotta show you this picture of Neville. This guy, he looks, Pac, he looks fucking insane, and it's great.
Well, that's what they should have been doing when they had him in 205 and in WWE. This is how they should have been booking the fucking guy.
He legitimate looks like he just got a mugshot from stealing crystal meth in Florida.
What do you mean? What do you mean I can't? What? I'm giving the British guy the fucking southern accent, but considering you said Florida. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I can't have bloody crystal meth? You fucking wanker!
Yeah, he just came out. No, actually, he came from southern London, so he's just like coming out of a fucking like crack house in southern London. His fucking hair is all like, woo!
No.
Do you think he's in the same crack house as Rich Swann?
Oh man, Enzo's there too. If you leave if you're 205 champion, that qualifies you to be in the crack house. Yeah, TJP's probably there. Brian Kenchik is definitely there. Oh man, Tizal was probably there.
No, Eric, think about this. Now we know. now we know why Austin Aries is so mad. He can't have any of the crack.
He's just sitting there with his shitty rock song that he wrote. Oh, this song sucks without crack. Fucking song sucks. They won't let me have it.
He's so pissed off. No, he's so pissed off. He just like goes over and he sees John Morrison. He's just like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, he sees Rich Swann again. Oh, fuck you, man. How was it? Yeah, it was good. Well, fuck you too.
Oh god.
Oh,
and
man.
They finally kick Enzo out of the crack house, and he's like,
Enzo was vaping the crack. Oh man, welcome back to everybody to Kayfabe Talk Radio, where we make Scott Dawson sound illiterate and fucking direction impaired, and then we make 205 guys sound like crack addicts.
Oh no, the best part is like a month later the cops arrive at Enzo's concert, and he's like, "Whoa, what are you guys doing here?" And it's like, "Sir, we had a report against you that you sexually assaulted someone." "No, I didn't touch anybody." "Well, TG." "Well, Perkins says you fucked him in the ass when you were on crack."
It's time. It's time to go, Enzo. It's time to go with your fellow rap mate Tekashi 6ix9ine. He gets in the jail cell, and he's like, "Hey, you got some crack?" And Tekashi's just like, "Yeah, I got rainbow crack. It's in the shape of a unicorn."
He just pulls it out of his ass, and he's like, "Here you go."
You just throw it out of my asshole.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Speaking of crack, I know you didn't watch it, but Jesus Christ, and I'm not really going to go into the storylines, but Jesus Christ, the writers of Raw are on like the strongest crack known to man.
This surprised me.
Oh my god!
What do they do now?
I just want to tell you, no, this was a storyline. They had Corbin suddenly decide that they were gonna change a match. They started doing like the remember the Duchess storyline, but that was like played up for laughs, where they had that Duchess storyline where she kept changing the rules mid match.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that now.
Why does that not surprise me?
And then they had another thing that they had what's his face? They had I can't even think of his fucking name. The guy I don't like.
That you don't like?
Yeah.
Who the fuck you don't like?
Dean Ambrose.
Oh.
Yeah, they had Dean Ambrose go and do a promo about how
I saw that.
He had inoculated himself from all the diseases in Ohio.
No, they were in Texas. Yeah, that promo I did see. Was
it Texas or was it Ohio? I thought it was Ohio.
No, they were in Houston.
Oh,
They said they were in Houston. No, I saw that. You mean Bootleg Bane?
No, it was the week before. It was the week before. He was inoculating. He had to go and he was at the doctor's office, and he was inoculating himself for all the different diseases.
Look, I'm aware of that too. People are like, "Oh, these promos with Dean are bad." I'm like, this is Jon Moxley, guys. Isn't this what you guys wanted? The guy was cutting promos. The guy was legit cutting promos in CZW, sitting there in a corner, drunk as shit, saying, "I want Batista in a match." He had another promo where he's taking people on a tour to an alley, saying, "See this alley right here? This is where my mom get money to put bread on our table. And this is how I had to realize as a little kid. This is what my mom did." Like, the guy is legitimately a fucking weirdo. That's the appeal of him. Like it or hate it, he's doing it to get heat. He's supposed to be a fucking whack job.
No, but I mean, it's too cartoonish. That's the problem.
Well, him sitting there getting shots. Yeah, he's reaching. They're reaching.
Yeah.
The premise is good. I'll give them credit. The premise is good, but then they're reaching. It's not organic. It's like they're on the right path, but they're not there. Like, it's not like, basically what I'm getting at is, I'm not gonna shit on it completely, but I'm gonna say, yeah, they're a little, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a guy who's like, okay, it would make sense if it was a guy like, like if you had somebody like an EC3, and then they suddenly had like a germaphobe, like a gimmick, where like they always have to like wear a bunch of like stuff over their gear.
Like Dean Ambrose was a guy.
He
was a character 4 years ago where he was coming out. I'm on the subway in Coney Island, and we're getting a hot dog cart, and we're gonna bring the hot dog cart and shoot game with mustard. Yeah, the fucking if anyone knows, like you and I know, that subway is loaded with fucking germs, and you could easily get fucking sick off of that. So him coming out there in a clean arena with gas mask, it's like, I get where you're going, but it don't work here.
It's stupid. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you had somebody who was like had like kind of like a upper crust gimmick, and then they're like a multi-million, like, okay, it would work with EC3, where you have him coming out and he's a germaphobe and he doesn't.
I can't see him coming out there with a fucking gas mask though.
Not a gas, like not a gas mask, but like if he had like one of those. You always see those like Chinese people with the mask over their.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's so simple too. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, and then like gloves, and then he like freaks out if you take off his mask or his like gloves because he feels like everybody is
like what Gorgeous George used to do, where when someone would take his robe off, he'd go, "Get your filthy hands off of me!"
Yeah, exactly. Somebody who's just like freaks out. Like, just imagine that he puts you in into a rust hold, and you can't get out, and then you start peeling his gloves off to get out of the lock, and he starts freaking out because he doesn't want skin to skin contact.
Yeah.
Oh! I have another fucking idea. Just imagine a match where you suddenly somebody bleeds, and the guy starts freaking out.
I mean,
like
with how
really think about this. Like, let's say there's like accidentally the blood. There's like they bleed, but hard way, and suddenly he sees the blood and he's just like recoiling to get out of the ring because he's so freaked out by the blood.
Yeah,
because he doesn't want it getting on him.
Yeah, but with this day and age, with the whole there's a speckle of blood, we got to put gloves on. Yeah, that actually works. That makes sense because it's basically a kind of a knock on. He got a nosebleed. Time to put the gloves on. He got a paper cut. Time for the ref to put the gloves on.
But just imagine that, like somebody just coming. He comes out. And he's wearing like a full body, like kind of like a full body, kind of like hazmat suit, and he's wearing the face mask and gloves, and then it's like the entire match is like the other wrestler trying to rip him out of it because they're just to piss him off.
No, it definitely works because this day and age, everyone has to wear gloves. Because if they don't, all the refs have to wear gloves nowadays when there's a speckle of blood. Because if not, the racist Hannibal Nicholson will say something. But I would think, but see, like that's what Tyler Breeze should be doing. Fuck this fashion police stuff.
That's fucking amazing. Yes.
Like you say EC3, it's like, yeah, he's a millionaire, top 1%, cool. But Tyler Breeze is germophobic. He's beauty conscious. He's basically a fucking metrosexual. He is a metrosexual. Or at least that's what the gimmick is supposed to be. So him coming out there, freaking out because of blood, stitch him up right now or I'm leaving the match. I don't want any of that blood on my body. Or like him wearing gloves or something, saying and then people ask him why. He goes, "I'm not touching your filthy kids."
Oh my god, that would work so much.
Like him, and then him do that on a house show, and the kids cry, and then here comes so-and-so to high-five the kids to make them feel better. To kick the asshole's ass.
Oh god, I just had an even better idea. He sprays the kid with like an aerosol spray.
Oh, like arrogance or whatever?
No, it's just not cold air, but like he takes out an aerosol spray like
the can there, right?
The thing that you wipe the Lysol.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So he just Lysols the kid in the hands, and he's just like, "Wash your hands before you touch me."
No.
See, that's a gimmick that would fucking work because there's people out there that are fucking germaphobes.
Steve Austin is one. I mean, why? Why the fuck not?
No, but this is like a gimmick that would have worked back, and even this is like one of those timeless gimmicks that could always work. That could have worked years ago too. Mm-hmm. I could have seen that. I could have seen this gimmick being done by like William Regal.
Oh, like when they first brought him in. Well, not the real man gimmick. I'm talking about when they brought him in the second go around, where he was doing like the whole, like if you remember, like right before he became commissioner, they did a gimmick with him where he was constantly coming out doing like the tea time or whatever, and he was just like,
yeah,
you Americans sit around the table belching and breaking wind. Like that would have fit right into that.
Exactly. I could definitely see them doing something like that. That would have been fucking cool.
Yep.
But enough giving them actual good ideas for them to destroy. So.
Yeah. So, but with that said, folks, that'll do it for this week for us. Now. It's gonna be on the unfortunate end because of how fucking busy I am with work and whatnot. We'll aim for a show next week, but the unfortunate thing is on my end, I can't guarantee anything anymore, and so it's a thing where you're gonna sporadically get it, or we'll keep you posted on the pages, on the Facebook page and whatnot. But hope you all enjoyed this episode. Thank you all for everybody listening, and KayfabeTalkRadio.com. Keep that link saved. That is where you'll find all of our archives, as well as on iTunes, Stitcher, etc., etc. Wherever good podcasts are heard. Facebook.com/Kayfabe Talk Radio, where you can check us out there and find out all our information in terms of when we go on and stuff. And, you know, I'll be sure to post more of that information when we are on the works of an episode and things like that, so you guys know when to expect us, things of that nature. On Twitter, I'm on Twitter at EricTheRed211 and Mr_Bonesaw for your gripes and complaints on the show.
Yes, so I can go and tell you I don't care.
Yeah. Simple as that. And with that said, folks, we out. Till next time, keep it kayfabe.
Bitches.
You remember a time when it wasn't like this.